So yeah, I just want to start off with a song because music is really what makes me comfortable, you know. Totally. This is my friend Andrew Rim, who graduated from Berklee last May.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
All right, well, this is a song I wrote with my friend Jesse Barrera, and it's on my album, Red Roses, which is out right now, so let's do it, bro. This one's called She Was Mine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hopped on a train 3 in the afternoon. I don't know when I'm coming back, but I hope that it's soon. See, I never know, never thought that I'd have to leave your side. Your side. It's only physically, but know that you will be on my mind 24 hours at a time. 'Cause in my eyes, you were mine. You were mine, yeah. No matter where you go, I won't be very far. 'Cause in my head I'll be right there where you are. 'Cause love is no distance, baby. Love is no distance, baby. No, not when it comes to you and me. How y'all doing? Y'all awake? Go. I know it's Saturday morning. Liven it up a little bit. So she wrote me a letter, said the weather wasn't better, but she said that she was doing fine. She said that she was doing I wanna see it face to face, it's what she wrote to me that day, and I knew that it was all a sign. So I go back with a song, I promise it won't be too long. I won't make it for all our lost time. 'Cause in my eyes, you were mine. You were mine, yeah. No matter where you go, I won't be very far. 'Cause in my head I'll be right there where you are. 'Cause love is no distance, baby. Love is no distance, baby. No, not when it comes to you and me. So I'm going through these boxes, my life's been off track. 'Cause it's been 3 years and she hasn't written back. But in my eyes, she's still mine. And I know it sounds so stupid to be waiting this long, but I'm still in love, and I know I'm not wrong. 'Cause in my eyes, she was mine. 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter where you go, I won't be very far. 'Cause in my head I'll be right there where you are. 'Cause love is no distance, baby. Love is no distance, baby. No, not when it comes to you. And no matter where you go, I won't be very far. 'Cause in my head I'll be right there where you are. 'Cause love is no distance, baby. Love is no distance, baby. No, not when it comes to you and me. Not when it comes to you and me. It is kind of weird that I go from, you know, making videos in my living room to hopefully inspiring you guys and helping that motivation come out and to just make your own YouTube videos and start making your own moves. But I do want to start with just sharing my story. And I was born into a musical family. My mom and dad met in the choir. They're both from the Philippines. They're immigrants, and they came out here, and I was born in LA. Music was a big part of my life. They were in the choir. I went to church every Sunday and would just hear them sing. My dad was the choir director and the pianist, and one of the best musicians I have ever seen. And my mom is a singer, and now she leads the choir at my church at home. And you know, I grew up around all that church music and things like that. And unfortunately, in 1999, my dad passed away, and I was 10 years old. And it was a big thing for me because, I mean, I was young, but I still kind of understood that I had to somehow carry on my dad's legacy. And he was a big figure at church, you know, and in the Philippines as well. And he has so many siblings and he was the first one lost. And you know, my aunts and uncles, we all were in the choir as well together, or they were in his choir as well. And it was tough because he didn't really want me and my sisters to be musicians because he wasn't the one who was making all the money. It's kind of typical that when you come from the States, and especially during the time they came, that you know, your mom or dad is a nurse. So usually if I say, are there any Filipinos, you know, mad people raise their hand, and I'm like, whose mom is a nurse? And they keep their hands up. You know what I mean? And so, you know, they kind of relate to the fact that, you know, my mom was the one with the traditionally stable job. And it wasn't really my dad. I remember the last, like, year of his life, he was looking for a lot of random jobs that didn't have to do with music. Like, you know, he applied at 7-Eleven, was trying to be a bus driver, and just random things like that. And I know his heart wasn't into it like the music. So, you know, I had an interesting job of just also being the father figure to my family. A week after he died, I literally played at his funeral, and from then on, I started playing piano for church and taking his job. And me and my mom, up till now, we lead it. And 5 years later, I picked up a guitar because I was kind of inspired by just a lot of music that was coming out at the time. I grew up listening to a lot of Boyz II Men and R&B and things like that. But I got into like pop punk and Newfound Glory and that kind of music in middle school. And a lot of it was guitar based. So I picked up a guitar for the first time. I wrote my first song, which was about a girl that I met online. And this was before like social networks came out. So, well, it was like social networks, but we didn't know what a social network was. There was this thing called findapix.com where you would like, God, why am I even saying this? You would like rate pictures. I'm serious, like just pictures of like people in your area. And like I rated this girl a 10 and she rated me back a 10. And I talked to her on AIM. Did anyone have AIM here? Sweet. I met her online on AIM. We're talking in like chat rooms and things like that, right? So I know, hopefully some of you guys relate, but this was, you know, before there was even like text messaging. You know what I mean? So it's literally on AIM. I met this girl online. She lived in San Diego. The song is called House San Diego, Polly. Her name is Polly. So I wrote this song. I recorded it I begged my mom to get me this 24-track Roland device that burned onto a CD, and I recorded like drums and piano and guitar and stuff. And I put it on my MySpace. And this was after Friendster. So MySpace was this big new thing. And I put my song on there before there wasn't even MySpace music. So I had to put literally like a HTML code to put this JavaScript player on my freaking page. So people would, you know, would hit play and listen. And I booked my first show from there. And that was in San Diego because somebody heard the song from San Diego. And they're like, cool, we should have this guy down. We'll do a Filipino. We're doing a Philam Fest down there. He's Filipino. Cool, we'll get him down. He has a song on MySpace. And from then on, I just started playing a bunch of charity gigs and a lot of Philam Fest because of MySpace. And this was before MySpace music. And I was like handling all the booking through messaging and things like that. I was like very surprised to even get gas money sometimes, you know. And so at these shows, I'm literally selling my CD and saying I need gas money to get back up to Riverside. And so from then on, I kind of was almost taking it seriously. You know, I was 15 at the time, and I had recorded 12 songs on my little 24-track thing. I was selling it around school. Literally, me and my friends were selling it. We had like fanny packs of money, and if they sold 10 a day, I would treat them out to lunch. When I was 17, YouTube came out, and this was such a game changer for me and for a lot of my friends, really. And when I was first putting videos up, it was to put them on my MySpace. So every tag in my first couple of videos, my first like 100 videos, it says in the beginning myspace.com/AJRafael. At the end, it says myspace.com/AJRafael. And it's kind of like to cross-promote, but I didn't really think of YouTube as that it was going to get as big as it is now. So YouTube is here, and it's showing, you know, it's putting a face to my MySpace. You know, it's about showing your personality and talking to the camera. My first couple videos are literally the camera's right here, and I'm on the piano, and I'm not even looking at the video camera. You know what I mean? And I'm singing straight up to like the lyrics on the piano, and I'm playing like that. And yeah, they got, you know, good amount of hits at the time. You know, like 1,000 by a week or something like that. Then I started noticing there was such thing as subscribers, and I was like, okay, something's, you know, happening now. And there's a bunch of people who come back to my videos and comment, and so it's like a community. Then I started noticing other people putting videos up. One of the first people that I ever saw on YouTube was actually Alyssa Bernal, who's a good friend of mine now, and David Choi, who is a Korean-American singer-songwriter. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, wow, there are people putting like their original songs up, and it wasn't till probably like 20 videos in that I started putting my own stuff up. And the thing about YouTube that's great is that it's instant gratification, but it is also instant criticism. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of you guys can relate that, you know, you may run into haters. Actually, like every day I run into haters. I read a hater comment every day. You know what I mean? They call me chink and like fag and things like that. You know what I mean? But it builds you thick skin. You know what I mean? And it's such a different experience learning how to like grow up, but you're online. You know what I mean? It's a tough thing, and now looking back, it's like I never had a strategy to like get over any of this stuff. I just kind of went through it. But I'm glad to like be able to share my experiences with people who have never even uploaded a YouTube video before, you know? And for me, I knew myself, I didn't have like that viral talent. Like I cannot sing as well as a lot of my friends, like Tori Kelly, for example. She sings her butt off, and my friend Jeremy Passion, who I first saw do a video online on YouTube. And so for me, it was about making my own moves, and it was about putting my videos up consistently, and also just sharing just like a variety of things. So not only music, I was doing a lot of vlogs and things, and hoping that people would just like me as a person, and after that also relate to my music. It's been a really interesting journey. It started off with just me on my piano in my house, so when people would come up to me and recognize me on the streets, they'd be like, hey dude, I feel like I know you. I know that you have this picture frame in the back of your house, you know, things like that. And really things like that, it helps you just connect with them that much more. I didn't really like the idea of going into a studio and setting up mics and doing YouTube covers. You know, for me, it was a different journey, and it was for me playing from my couch, the same couch in every video. It's a red couch, and I'm playing and I'm just singing to the camera. And for me, that makes me relate to a person much more. You know, it makes me connect rather than it feeling overproduced. And that's the journey that I've taken. For my originals, I do make music videos for them as well, and spent like a total of like $6,000 on like 4 really high quality videos. You know, it's cheap now. Back in the day, you know, I had like a little webcam that attached to like your computer for like $100, and I was using that to talk to Polly from Find a Pics. And But then there was like a video camera that I got for like $200. Then the flip cam came out, and I was using that as well. And then now you can just do it on your iPhone. You know, one of Tori Kelly's biggest videos is shot on an iPhone, and it's her singing "Thinking About You" with my friend Angie, and she's doing a beatbox, and that's just an iPhone. You know what I mean? And I do know that she has a high quality camera, and she could have used mine as well. But you know, that all doesn't matter. It's really tough for me to be speaking at something to help, you know, your videos go viral, when really, truly, for me, there really is no exact formula. Yeah, there's a lot of like tips that you can do, like, for example, we can see the analytics on my video of when people stop watching the videos. And it's kind of noticed, we've kind of noticed that on my channel, if I'm not in the beginning 20 seconds, and this is just on my channel, people who are subscribed to me, the drop-off rate like goes down to like 30%. It's about kind of keeping that familiarity and keeping that consistency, you know what I mean? Like, this is my channel, this is what I have to offer, this is me, here we go, and then the rate goes up. And you can see all that in YouTube nowadays, which is really cool. All the analytics stuff is great. Me and John, my videographer, John Enriquez here, he edited this video.
So shame on me now, I flew to places I've never been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Ah! Trouble, trouble, trouble. Ah! Trouble, trouble, trouble.
What am I doing?
See, it's okay if you mess up at the end.
Yeah, totally. Yo, do it one more time for safety.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, AJ.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, AJ.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yo, what's up, guys?
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me, AJ.
My life is a moving picture. The moon and the stars just ain't enough. I'm feeling so cold and reckless. I can't keep on living without your touch. Do you feel like everything's alright, even with no one by your side? I'm hoping you'll finally change your mind. I'll stand with these roses here tonight. Stand with these roses here tonight. Make me on road to your dreams. It's you who defines your greatness. So don't be discouraged by ripped seams. I know everything will be alright, even with no one by my side. I'm hoping I'll finally change your mind. I'll stand with these roses here tonight. Stand with these roses here tonight.
So I've met a lot of cool people doing this, you know, and
just kind of being on YouTube has opened up so many opportunities for me. I've been a partner since the beginning. I've actually, well, the beginning of the partnership, I applied when I was here at Berklee. My main pitch was like my MySpace stuff and things like that. But so it's been since 2008 that I've been monetizing my originals. So I do make a steady income. I am financially stable off music, you know, which is something that I know that, you know, my dad would have loved to hear that it is possible now, you know, with just the internet. And it's really cool because I feel like 10 years ago, if I didn't have like a record label, I wouldn't be here right now. And I wouldn't be able to, you know, travel across the world. You know, last year we had a Southeast Asia tour and sold out some shows in like Indonesia and the Philippines. And, you know, it really is because people, you know, have seen me on YouTube, and it's an instant worldwide thing. When you just put up a video, you know, with just a click of a mouse, people can see it all over the world, and you can see your stats there on the YouTube analytics and things like that. So for me, it was mostly about being real with my audience and, you know, talking to them in the comments and things like that, making it a community at this, and answering a lot of questions, and even making separate videos. I have a second channel called It's AJ, and I answer questions on there and things like that, and do little vlogs. You know, it's about showing every side of you and, you know, getting comfortable with that. If I can say anything, it's really just showing who you are and them connecting with you. I knew that I didn't have that like viral talent that I can just sing in a webcam, you know, a cappella for like a minute, and it would like take off 1 million, 2 million views. You know, I knew it wasn't like that for me. So it was about using all these resources, and YouTube is free to use, you know, and it's free to upload videos, it's free to watch, you know, so you really don't have anything to lose. And I now just signed with a YouTube network called Maker Studios, and they really help in just getting the premium advertisements. Say there's like McDonald's and they need to like hit like 9 billion views or something like that. Instead of YouTube now sprinkling these McDonald's ads on random partners that they have, because they have so many now, they look to these networks. Like the studios, they hit their umbrella of channels and they put all the premium ads on all the original content. And then I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You get more money off the ads, because you get like 15-second ads, or like the ads that you can skip that are 30 seconds opposed to just the ones that kind of pop up. You know, I want you guys to know that there is, you know, there is a future online, and you can be stable with YouTube and all these tools that are coming up. I'm not sure what's next, but I'm sure that YouTube is sticking around for a long period of time. And real quick, before I bring Alyssa out, I just want to share a story real quick on really what YouTube has done for my soul, you know, and for me as a person, and what keeps me going. My original music, you know, comes from the heart, and I express it. I wear my heart on my sleeve like most songwriters, and it happened to touch someone named Zoe who lived in the Bay. She saw me on YouTube, and she said that back in 8th grade, she was jamming to this song called When We Say Juice Box, which was my first video to technically go viral, because my friend Kev Jumba said that if you hit 250,000 in one day, then you're technically viral. And that happened for my first music video, fortunately. And When We Say Juice Box was kind of her theme. And she would sing it with all her classmates, and she showed her whole school. 2 years ago, Make-A-Wish Foundation hit me up. And I was really, you know, surprised, because I'm not Justin Timberlake or anything like that. You know, I'm just some kid from Riverside, you know, writing songs for a living. And she had hit Make-A-Wish up because she had found out that she had cancer, a really rare bone cancer. And her parents, you know, asked me to come up, and I road tripped up to the Bay, which was like 8 hours to go meet her. And we met at a Starbucks, and it was really cool to get to know her. She played water polo, and I played water polo freshman year, and she loved music, and she had a little brother, and I have a little sister, and, you know, it was really fun to just get to know her. And a year later, she hit me up, and her mom actually wanted me to surprise her for her 16th birthday because it might be her last one. And so I took a trip up to the Bay with some of my friends. John, Tori Kelly came, Ryan Bandong, who's from New York, and Jeremy Passion, and my best friend Arby, and we drove up. And I surprised her. She didn't know I was coming, and she was in a wheelchair. And she was really weak at the time, and she was just so happy, and her face lit up when we got up there, and we sang that song that I sang earlier, She Was Mine, and she was like falling in and out of sleep, but when she heard that song, she was singing along, and we have video of it, and hopefully you guys can look it up. It's called Why I Make Music, Part 1, and it's a dedication to Zoe. And right after that, we went down, we just, felt fulfilled, and we felt like we did something good, and it was a fun experience. And a week later, July 5th, I got a call that she had passed away. And we went to the funeral, and I got to play at her funeral, and really all of that would not have been possible if the internet didn't exist, And I kind of wish that, like, back in the day, the internet would exist a little more, so I could connect with all the people in the Philippines and tell them that, like, my dad passed away and things like that, but the internet really brought us together, and I know that sounds corny a little bit, but I feel like the more real you are and show who you are, the more people will just fall in love with you and feel like they know you. I get recognized at Disneyland, like, it's crazy. It's like, and mostly by Asian Americans, because Asian Americans haven't found a platform yet to showcase everything. There's one guy on Glee who's Asian American, you know what I mean? And YouTube, there's a lot of big Asian American artists on YouTube, only because we really don't have anything else, and Hollywood hasn't really broke the stereotype of us being, like, even being Filipino, they stereotype me as, like, the Chinese kung fu guy, you know what I mean? Or, like, the dragon lady, or the math nerd. It's about just making your own moves, finding the opportunities, being relatable to the audience. I used a lot of performance techniques from Livingston Taylor's class, and Donna McElroy taught me a lot of stuff about just performing, connecting with the audience. Don't close your eyes as much, for me, was a big thing in helping me connect with the camera. You know what I mean? It's more interesting if you're looking at the camera and kind of opening your eyes than it is to just, be all into the music. And yeah, that's cool sometimes, and you can do that on your own, but I think for YouTube, it's really cool to engage with the audience, and it might be awkward at first to do that, but once you get more comfortable, it becomes easier, and everything, when you're just looking at the camera, when there's cameras around you, you're just comfortable to just talk and vlog about what's going on. I'm very fortunate to have a videographer who's also my friend to capture all these different moments, and I want to bring Alyssa Bernal up to this stage. This is Alyssa, and she's a good friend of mine from Texas, and what we want to do here is actually make a live YouTube video and kind of just do it right here with my videographer, John. And while we're setting that up, Alyssa's going to share her story a little bit. So,
hey guys, how are you? I'm Alyssa Bernal. Just to tell you guys a little bit about me, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Like AJ, I was raised by musicians. Music is how we celebrated Christmas, Thanksgiving. The family just jammed out. I always loved to sing, like since I was 3 or 4, but I grew up so shy. My parents always used to hear me singing in my bedroom, and then when I realized they were like at the door, I'd like stop. It wasn't until like my junior year of high school, I went to a private Catholic high school, and we got a music director for the first time, and he was the guy that inspired me to like put myself out there. I started singing in front of crowds, and junior year was like 2006, 2007. That's when I signed up for YouTube. I didn't even start off by posting singing videos. I started out by like posting silly videos with my friends, and then I noticed people putting videos of themselves out, and I remember thinking like, that's cheesy, that's so like embarrassing. But then I got inspired when I'd see the feedback and like support they got, and I was like, man, like, what am I doing? I'm a musician. I was born into this. I love this. This is my passion. Stop being a little wimp. put yourself out there. You love this. So I did, and I got amazing feedback, and that's really what like boosted my confidence. The cover that I think put me out there was a Take a Bow cover, a Rihanna song, and it was like a snowball effect. My mom was really good at like skimming over my messages, because at that point I was like, there's too many. And so she calls me into the room, and she's like on my MySpace music page, and she's like, hey, like, it says here like Pharrell Williams is interested in your music. And I'm like, Pharrell? Let me see this. So like I read it, and there's a number. It says the company is Star Trek Records. So we call the number, and they're like, hello, have you ever heard of Star Trek? Like, we're really interested in your project. We'd really love to work with you. So I was skeptical at first, because I had disappointments in my music beforehand. But I think like 2 days or something, they flew us out, and I had to sit down with Pharrell Williams and the founder of Interscope Records, Jimmy Iovine. And like a month later, I was signed, and the journey's been incredible. I went on my first nationwide tour with Lifehouse. I put my album out in November of like 2010, and I'm working on my second album right now. Recently, I won a Coca-Cola competition. Well, this was this past November, and I won the competition, and I performed at the AMAs with Jason Derulo. I'm so grateful for YouTube. AJ, likewise, you're one of my first friends on YouTube. I started playing the guitar. Like, I picked up guitar because of you and like Jeremy, Melissa Polinar. Started writing because of you guys. You know, you put your stuff out there, and I was just like, man, everyone's loving it. Like, I want that. Like, and my first show was at FAP, California, and I just admired these people so much that I drove 22 hours to San Diego just to meet you guys and to play with you guys. No pay, no nothing, like whatever. I was just so like excited.
You forgot to mention that she was one of like the first people on YouTube, that first wave of people that the titles in their videos was me singing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember those. It's not like that anymore, but it's like me singing Take a Bow,
Yeah.
Rihanna.
Oh my gosh. One of my videos too is like I'm like washing dishes, and like there's like a window, and I put my camera on the window, and I'm like singing a Joss Stone song, and it's like all cling cling like washing dishes.
Yeah, those are like the ghetto camera days of YouTube.
Yeah. So we're gonna sing now?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it. Okay, so John's gonna tape it for us, and you can see right here. And this is normally how we do our videos. The last video that we did was a Lady Gaga cover that was exactly like this, and it's really just a one shot of us looking at the camera and singing, what song was it? You and I.
You and I.
So this is a song that we've both done on YouTube, so we figured it would be good. And if you guys know it, just sing along and have fun. This one is by Pink.
Right from the start, you were a thief, you stole my heart, and I, your willing victim. I let you see the parts of me that weren't all that pretty, and with every touch you'd fix them. Now you've been talking in your sleep, oh, things you never say to me. Oh, tell me that you've had enough of our love. Just give me a reason, just a little bit sooner, just to set you in a broken just bed, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the stars on our hearts. We're not broken just bed, and we can learn to love again.
Sorry, I don't understand where all of this is coming from. And I thought that we were fine. My head is spinning while again my theories still have everything, and it's all in your mind. give me a reason, just a little piece of love, just to suck you in a broken just bend, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the stars on our hearts. We're not broken, just bend, and we can learn to love again.
Can we get a little clapping? A little bit right here.
Just give me a reason, just a little bit enough, just to set you in a broken bend, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the stars on our hearts. We're not broken, it's bent, and we can learn to love again.
I guess we're gonna take questions now.
You are a really good songwriter. I've been thinking about you lately. Maybe you can take me from this crazy world. So how do you, what is the point that you're like, I can release my music that I've written and know that it's going to be well received? Do you put yourself out more because not as many people are going to be looking AJ Rafael original music versus like
Cover songs.
number one Justin Bieber? You know, how do you promote that?
When I was at Berklee, and I was putting all these YouTube videos and stuff up, people were asking me, like, aren't you scared people are gonna steal your stuff? Or like, you know, things like that. And a lot of people, especially Berklee students, as perfectionists, and you know, us naturally as musicians are perfectionists, but we like can spend forever working on a song, you know what I mean? And not put it out because we want it to be perfect. But for YouTube, it's cool because you can just delete it. But really, you don't even have to. It's showing the journey, you know what I mean? It's showing that you're growing as an artist. For me, you know, I would put out a song just acoustically or something, or a bare version of my original. You know, the first time I put that song up, We Could Happen, was just me and a guitar and my friend Noah playing ukulele. And we're just having fun in the video, you know, and I knew that was well received, and that was before we recorded it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And once you get into the studio, that's when you can get really nitpicky. You know what I mean? But I think if you're doing like the live approach to YouTube that we've been doing and things like that I've been doing on my journey, then I think really you just gotta do it, man. You know, and we don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars that record labels can put into an artist. Yeah. So what we can do is kind of use the platform to do cover songs, and hopefully in between, at the end of your video or in the beginning, hey, stay tuned for a special announcement at the end. You know, if you like this cover, stick around. Boom, at the end, you're saying, hey, I got an original, click here. This is a cool thing called annotations that came out like in the middle of our YouTube, you know, journey. It came out like 2 years. You know, the little bubble things. That didn't come out till like 2009. You know what I mean? So there are a bunch of ways, but it is kind of smushed in between a bunch of cover songs. Cool. And don't let that stop you. Cool. You know what I mean?
As far as videos go, I was wondering, in the reference of an iPhone, is there any like app or any cool way to make your video quality any better other than buying a lens?
It's really just lighting with the iPhone. You know what I mean? I really think it is. It's tough to just, I mean, the iPhone 5 now is like 1080, and even the iPhone 4S was 1080, so those work fine. You know what I mean? Especially for just like static shots. You'll actually see one of Ben's videos that is totally shot on an iPhone, and you'll see like the potential of it and everything. Cool. So you can do it with an iPhone.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You said you started off with a regular partnership, and you decided to go with a network. And I was wondering if it was more about like higher CPMs that they can offer, or if it was like deals that can get you with companies. Like, what was it that made you choose your network?
For me, it was a lot about the community of artists. You know, there's going to be some people offering, different networks offering different deals and things like that. For me, Maker had my good friend Timothy Delgado. It had Jeremy Passion on there. So it was, for me, it was more about the roster of artists. I'm not making a ton of money on YouTube like a lot of my friends, so I didn't really have that in mind when I was thinking of it. I knew that I was going to make a little more because of the higher CPMs and the different advertisements. Yeah. But that wasn't really what broke the deal for me. Also, Maker Studios originally was not intended to and their sell point wasn't to monetize covers at the time, you know. They were really about promoting the original music and things like that. So I'd say it's just about figuring out who's on each of these networks, seeing what they offer, because there are different deals. There's like 70-30, 80-20, you know, things like that. And you just got to get like good legal representation.
YouTube obviously has a bunch of inactive subscribers as well, and like sometimes videos don't publish properly. So I was wondering, do you just upload publicly or do you do scheduled uploads? And I wanted to know like how that affects your views.
Somehow the YouTube algorithm has changed. I'm not even sure what that means. But I definitely got less views,
yeah,
you know, on a
everyone's
lot
affected.
of my videos, you know, and a lot of people have experienced this, including Alyssa. And yeah, YouTube is cracking down on the inactive subscribers, and they're so my views went down a little bit, but not substantially. But now I put a video up every week just to show consistency. And maybe I was getting 100,000 a week before back then. Now I'm really getting 30, 40,000. Sometimes if it's something like I Knew Your Trouble that, you know, people keep replaying because it's funny and I look like a dumbass. But, you know, they keep replaying that and that plays over and over. But usually it's like 30, 40,000 a week for me right now. Hopefully get up to 100,000 by second or third week. But yeah, it has affected my views a lot. So I'd say just it's about publishing consistently, you know, and always having content up that people can watch.
At least for me, when I take videos, I tend to act differently in front of the camera.
Yeah.
How do you guys go about preparing to take a video?
I think it takes time, you know.
Right.
You kind of just get used to it, you know, and you got to get used to the reaction that you're going to get, I feel like, you know what I mean, on the commentators and stuff. There are trolls all over, you know what I mean, online. They're just messing with you. But you kind of got to relax, you know.
Yeah, what's cool is that, like, you get to, like, study yourself after a certain time. That's how I think I grew as an artist. If I'm doing something that I don't like, I see, like, oh, I don't like I should do this different next time. Then I can keep that in mind for, like, my next videos. And I think that's what made me more comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah, that's definitely the beauty of YouTube, is that you get to study everything. And also you can just, you know, take it over again. And if you're not really feeling it, you know, just do it the next day. Start fresh. But it's just like getting on the stage, you know. There's like some kind of like stage fright and things like that for like camera. But it really is just kind of getting used to having cameras around you all the time.
How many takes do you usually do on a video?
You can't force it too much.
Yeah, you can't force it. But it does get tricky with collabs because people are on schedule. You know what I mean? Like they're like, I only have till now to do it. So you kind of just gotta, I usually just do 3 if I'm doing a collab and pick the best. And both of you guys cannot have like, you guys have to have that compromise. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, okay, I messed up here, but I did good over here. You know, vice versa and things like that. And you just gotta pick the best one from your judge.
Cool, thanks.
When you uploaded your first video, like, what was it like? Were you like scared that like your friends from school were gonna see and like people you know were gonna be like, you're such a weirdo?
Yeah. What held me back is so dumb. Like, I thought my friends would think it was cheesy. Like, you think you're on the Disney Channel or something? Like, that's so weird, right? But they admired it, you know? Like, that's what inspired me. They thought it was cool.
Sharing with your friends and family definitely is a good help. And I really think that people will just appreciate that you're putting yourself out there anyway. And if somebody thinks it's funny or whatever, then you don't have to listen to them. You know what I mean? And that took a lot for me as well. You know, at school I was known as like the singer dude. You know what I mean? Like the only guy putting stuff on YouTube. But you know, now they're really proud of me.
How do you go about tagging your videos?
The artist, the song.
Yeah, sometimes.
Your screen name.
Sometimes, I was talking to Charlie about this too. Sometimes we put official cover video. You know what I mean? Anything that says official is like in caps. Like people want to click that. You know what I mean? But it's good to search what the cover you're doing and see, you know, the most popular ones that come up and kind of just use it. You know what I mean? And then put your name at the end of it. YouTube has changed where it's like really customizable for you. You know what I mean? So sometimes it doesn't even matter what tags are on your video, whatever, it'll just show up what that user was just watching. You know what I mean? On the suggested video. So that in fact has not helped in that way the YouTube thing. But I think it's really all in the titles.
What makes you unique? Like, how do you think you figured that out about yourself?
It's just kind of just being comfortable with who you are. I know that I am different from the people who are on MTV, you know what I mean, and things like that. And it's just, for me, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it takes that first, and then you can kind of find your purple cow from there, you know what I mean? For me, it's, I really just take pride in my songwriting, you know, and I own it. I own that. It's just really about owning your own personality and you know, whether you're outgoing or, you know, shy or whatever, you know, it's being unique.
So do you not have another job? That's like, you're fine with that?
Really, I'm fine where I'm at, and like I'm content and things like that, you know, but there are a lot of months where I'm struggling with taxes and living paycheck by paycheck, you know what I mean? But I don't have another job other than this. I do, you know, live performances and things like that, and that pays me in the band and things like that. But YouTube really is like the base chunk of money that helps me pay for my bills. I live at home, like with my mom and my little sister to help take care of them and things like that. But yeah, it's helping me with my bills and things like that, helping me buy new clothes for shows and stuff. And it's really awesome when you get to that point.
Once you've established a YouTube channel, are there any tricks to like maximizing subscribers?
I think if you like personally ask somebody to do something, like at the end of your video, really, and you might have to like humble yourself to do this, but say, hey guys, please subscribe for the next video. Yeah. You know what I mean? For me, it was really all about like being very personable, you know? Right now, the subscribers are going down too, I think, for us, because there's a lot of inactive and things like that, and sometimes it doesn't even count because your welcome page on YouTube now is just activity, because YouTube is trying to be a social network opposed to helping out featured videos and things like that. So right now is a tricky time, honestly.
Are there any ways to associate my channel with another popular channel to increase my exposure?
Yeah, definitely the tags. If you search a certain person's YouTube channel, there will be like 3 that show up. You know what I mean? There's a thing on YouTube where you can put other channels. You know what I mean? There's a little module you can type in their username, and their channel will show up on your YouTube page. If you do like a feature for feature kind of thing, then you guys will be directly linked, and every time someone goes to that page, they can click on that one, because it sees like the other suggested channels suggested by your own self. You know what I mean? And if you guys are both on that, you guys are cross-promoting your audiences, for sure.
How do you guys record audio?
For a while, we were just using the on-camera audio, and I wouldn't have the mic on here. I would just like record it straight into the camera, and it was fine for what it did. But we tried to upgrade a little bit. I got this mic right here. Focus is, this is the Rode Video mic. It's like 200-ish bucks.
Okay.
It's really worth it. Recently, we've been trying to use the Zoom H4n, which is a separate audio recorder. And by having it separate from the camera and a little closer to the source, it sounds a lot better.
How do you feel about talking in videos as well as like time lengths? Because I know some people do like 1.5 minutes, some people do the full song, some people split it up. So
I've noticed that a lot of people, if you talk in the beginning of a video,
they complain.
They complain and they're like, the song actually starts at 42 seconds.
Yeah.
Click here, thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it now.
So do you talk after?
Yeah, usually? Yeah. I mean, just a quick thing. I say this every time. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, AJ. I have an announcement at the end of the video. Check it out. Here's
That's
my
smarter.
Yeah, it really is. I think just keep it brief and.
You don't want to lose people's interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you do the full song usually when you cover.
Sometimes you get rid of the bridge, like we did right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to keep it like under 5 minutes, I'd say.
I was gonna say, yeah. Is that also just time length? Usually 5 minutes is
some
where you like to keep
some
it
people are turned off to long videos. Okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good idea, especially cover songs and stuff, to kind of keep them short and not talk crazy. You know, you can link to another video on another channel that has like a really long announcement. People will, you know, who want to watch it will watch that.
Annotations. Dope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have been watching both of your videos for a very long time, and I thought you should know you're practically the reason why I picked up a ukulele and I'm here right now. I love your music. And No Scrubs, I love that video. That you sang.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Thank
special
you.
for me that you guys are here, and I just wanted to ask you, because I post videos as well on YouTube, and I have a hard time keeping up with all the social media in general, and I definitely get to a point where I just have no inspiration to sing anything for a while, and I've upset people online, like, where the hell have you been? Like, nice to see you, you know, it's been a while, but how do you stay on top of that? And Twitter and Tumblr, and I mean, it's a headache, you know?
It helps that there's apps for everything, and we always just have our like phones on us.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there is gonna be a time, you know, where you're gonna have to take that break, you know, and don't worry about the people who are saying, where are you? Because really, truly, you don't owe anything really to anybody. Things have been kind of slow, you know, lately, and people are telling me that I fell off and stuff like that, you know, even though I'm on Twitter every day. I try to be on Twitter every day. But, you know, sometimes you just have to step up, and once you've taken that break, step up and be like, this is my job now. You know what I mean? Twitter, Tumblr, and all that stuff is literally my job. You know, sometimes really you have to put it priority, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Staying connected with your fans is important, you know, and sometimes you're gonna have to explain, hey, I'm really sorry that I've been MIA.
yeah, I just put out a video, like an announcement video, because my last cover was like almost 2 months ago. Just like remind them, thank you for sticking with me on this journey. Thank you for being a patient. I promise there's good things coming. Just to keep them updated. I haven't forgotten about you, you know?
Yeah, keep them updated as if they're, you know, they're your friends and stuff like that. And they'll stick with you, you know what I mean? And the ones who leave you, then that's fine. You know, as long as you got your loyal fan base and the people who care about it, then that's all that should matter. I think that's it for us, so thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for taking me. Oh, he invited me.